But I do think that we had a shift, and I think it's really an identity shift. It is what I've been pondering. So I believe it's related to our identity. I think a shift has definitely felt, I keep hearing that from everyone. You hear so much about the shift, and you hear it from people that are Christians, people that aren't Christians. People are talking about that the atmosphere seems different. And I think the good news here is that many are waking up to Jesus because of the exposed darkness. And that is really, really interesting. I honestly had not heard much of Charlie Kirk talking about the gospel. I had heard a little bit of him, I knew him mostly for his political talks, and I really didn't listen to him much at all. Um, but but I hadn't really heard him talk about the gospel. But since then, people have been sharing a lot of him sharing about the gospel. People have been sharing that. And so I think people are getting to see and hear that he actually was a Christian. And they're getting to see and hear the counter to that. And the contrast is really, really interesting. The contrast is so stark that a lot of people are waking up to Jesus because the darkness is being exposed. And they don't like that. That seems so obviously evil that it's shining light that if evil is true, maybe truth is true. Maybe Jesus is true. Maybe there is truth. And so we must continue to pray that Jesus is the result for people from this tragedy. And this is another thing that has been very concerning to me because Jesus, guys, Jesus is about to come back. I mean, we may look at different days, we may, it's not about the date. It is the season, and we can feel it. We know. You just look. I mean, Jesus got really irritated at the religious leaders of his day because they could discern the season, the time, the weather, but they couldn't discern that he was literally standing in front of them. Let's not be like the religious leaders of Jesus's day. It is obvious there's more spoken about his return than there is about his first coming. It's obvious he's about to come back. Now is the time to get people to Jesus, not to a modifier. And honestly, that's one thing that I've been praying really heavy about because I'm seeing the ugly modifiers. And we need to be really, really careful because Satan's smart. He's working really hard to sow in distraction, division. That's Satan loves that. There's a lot of distraction. There's a reason. Everything about this is suspect and fishy on purpose. Because the enemy wants you to just go down those little rabbit trails and get distracted. Get your focus off of Jesus. Get your focus off of what matters because Jesus is about to come and the world is about to go into the tribulation. That is where we are in time. So we need to be careful to not fall for the modifier trap. And we're going to unpack this even more in a minute because I think that this is really crucial for us to war up against this. But this is crucial to anyone who has put their trust in Jesus. Are you a Christian? End. You're a believer in Jesus. Or are you inserting an adjective or a modifier after it? Because your identity, the shift here is your identity. Where is your identity? People's identity is being exposed. It's really easy to see someone's identity if when someone is murdered in front of you, you celebrate it. It's pretty easy to pick out that their identity is not in Jesus. But where's your identity? Sometimes something like this, a shift like this, will bring about where your identity is falling. So, do you have a modifier? It's easy to spot the insanity, the farce of the modifier, the adjective, if it's liberal, progressive Christian. That's ridiculous. Gay Christian. Nope. Feminist Christian. Nope. Woke Christian. Nope. But let's add some modifiers that we feel more comfortable with. No, we are a Christian. If you add any political view to Christian, that is a disrespect to our God and our King, who is not a Republican or a Democrat. And I just want everyone who has trouble with that, because people really have trouble with that, because unfortunately, politics, and people get really mad about this to me, they get really mad at me. Politics are not about God. Politics are man-made. It's the harlot political system, two wings of the same evil, evil bird. Read Joshua 5. Here, Jesus is the commander of the Lord's army. And Joshua, who's about to do what God is calling him to do, go against Jericho, sees Jesus, the commander of the Lord's army, and he asks him, are you for us or are you for them? That's our question a lot, isn't it? Us or them? And do you know what Jesus says? No, you have the wrong question altogether. We cannot add a political modifier to our relationship with Jesus. Be careful about that, because that I have a real concern about. That is a big danger I'm seeing right now. So this is very dangerous for our country. It's very dangerous for our relationship with Jesus, and it is absolutely detrimental to our witness, because who is our mission field? The very people we want to say are demons. That's our mission field. Good luck witnessing to someone after you call them a demon. Good luck with that. It's just crazy. So this identity shift is really a mirror. Are we focusing on Jesus as our identity? Are we compromised and we're still holding on to this world? That's one thing that's really, really coming into focus. This is the shift that's going to reveal our identity. Are we holding on to a world system and trying to marry it with Christianity? Because no world system marries to Christianity on purpose. They don't. Jesus, literally, when he comes back, is going to pulverize all of those adjectives that we want to add to Christianity, because nothing can be added to it. It's perfect. So our relationship with Jesus is perfect. It doesn't need any addifier, any modifier. Our identity will have everything to do with how we respond to those who hate us, how we respond to those who persecute us. So the world wants to rally war against those who disagree with them. This isn't just one side, this is both sides that wants to do that. A little bit differently, but both sides want to do that. But Jesus commands us to be different. And instead, he tells us to love our enemies. Do good to those who hate us, who mumble curses under their breath. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who mistreat you. We need to be brokenhearted for these people, because we know what's about to happen to them. We know what's about to happen to them, and we know what's about to happen to us. This mortal's about to put on immortality. My kingdom is not this world. I know what's about to happen to this world. You know what's about to happen to this world. Don't get sucked into fables. That's what God calls these things, fables. This is not a popular view. Politically, Jesus's words do not go over well, but it's biblical truth. And we need to remind ourselves what time it is. It's not time to go back to sleep. It's not time to put our head in the world sand. It's time to wake up. Remember, like we talked about last week, it's time to be dressed and ready. And because our bridegroom's coming. And so here's a way to kind of discern, because sometimes it's hard to discern because Satan uses godly words. Like Satan will come, what does he do? He comes disguised as an angel of light, doesn't he? He comes looking good. He'll say the right things. He'll even take scripture, but he'll twist it. And so God's voice stills us. It leads us. It reassures us and enlightens us. It encourages us. It comforts us. It calms us. It convicts us. And it always points us to Him. What does Satan's voice do? Pushes you, rushes you, hurry and do something. Really not smart, usually. Scares you, frightens you. You're afraid. Confuses you. With all these rabbit trails, all these something's not right. Yeah, something's not right, but that's not where we're supposed to focus. Discourages you, worries you, obsesses you, condemns you. This is the enemy. So we need to make sure that we're not listening to him when all these things can be so, so loud. Because the enemy is really, really loud. God's voice is still and quiet, and you got to lean in to hear him. The enemy is loud and he demands your attention. So what just happened in the loudness? Because you also need to pay attention. What was the world and what is still the world wanting you to focus on? The world right now wants you to focus on Charlie Kirk and pick a side and be mad at one another. So therefore, you don't need to do that because that's what the world wants you to do. We got to get wise to the enemy's devices.